Now, volunteers have been scrubbing thousands of oysters, ready for them to be put into Chichester Harbour to help restore the ecosystem.
Yes, it's the first project of its kind in the country, working to restore multiple habitats across the Solent Strait. Chloe Oliver went out on the water to see the moment 10,000 oysters were tipped into Chichester Harbour.
260 volunteers have been hard at work, scrubbing 20,000 oysters by hand in Portsmouth, preparing them before they're being placed into Chichester Harbour. Many volunteers are from Portsmouth. Some, though, travelled from as far as Falmouth and London.
It's really nice to see people from all areas of the community coming together and doing something for the ocean.
Volunteering is incredibly important, and I love doing it. It helps the charity and the project that we're supporting. It's wonderful to meet my fellow volunteers, and it's a lovely day out.
Today's my first day. I've met a lovely group of people, and in our first batch this morning I did the count and we cleaned 91 oysters. Yay!
Excitement is building too for the conservation charity Blue Marine Foundation, who are working with 10 different organisations to restore and reconnect coastal habitats here in the south.
So we're here in the lab at the Institute of Marine Sciences, and in a bizarre way we're actually scrubbing oysters. And the reason we're doing that is because here in the Solent we've lost most of our oyster population, so we have to bring oysters in from other areas around the country. And when we do that, we have to make sure that we are doing everything that we can do to minimise the impact that we might have on the environment. So making sure that we're not introducing any invasive species or diseases that aren't here. By scrubbing them, putting them in a chlorine bath, that gives us the best chance of doing that.
This time-lapse shows the power of the humble oyster, making easy work filtering a tank of dirty water. This is the difference they could make to our environment. And this is where they'll call home, Chichester Harbour. As part of the major marine restoration project, gravel and cockleshell were transferred last month to create the base of the oyster reef. Today, we went out on the water with the team as they tipped 10,000 of the freshly cleaned oysters on top of that base to act as a home for other species, as well as protect against coastal erosion.
When they're left to their own devices, they'll build up on top of each other, attached to each other. They create a 3D structure. So historically speaking, there would have been oyster beds that were 6 or 7 metres high. And I'm 2 metres tall, so it gives you an idea. That's really a lot of structure. And then other animals can come and live in those spaces. We found up to 130 species in the Solent associated with oysters that we've had in cages. So in the natural reef, there'll be literally over 100 species in there, making use of that space, eating each other, feeding on each other, providing food, producing babies, and the biodiversity should really increase in these areas as a result.
If a single oyster can filter up to 200 litres of water every day, then it's clear to see what difference dropping thousands of these oysters into Chichester Harbour will make to improve our waters. Chloe Oliver, ITV News, Itchenor.